UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer held an emergency meeting in London over the weekend and invited world leaders to support Ukraine. President Zelenskyy was there. You had the Prime Minister of Canada there, Prime Minister and presidents throughout Europe, and the European Union were there. It was a powerful meeting. I want to show you what they were doing to show support for Ukraine, and also how they've, at this point, just isolating the United States of America. You know, although their language is still careful, the message has been sent. Ukraine, we have your back. Donald Trump and the Trump regime is utterly pathetic. I mean, while this emergency world meeting on how to fight back against Russia and protect Ukraine was taking place, courageously organized by United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Donald Trump was golfing and he was doing weirdo events at Mar-a-Lago, like he was doing this. Play the clip. And then Donald Trump was also doing this. Play the clip.
Is it coming?
Okay, back to the serious world leaders who are protecting our ally, Ukraine, and President Zelenskyy. Take a look at this photo right here. As the Associated Press reported, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer told leaders gathered for an emergency summit on the war in Ukraine that they need to step up and continue to support Kyiv and meet a once-in-a-generation moment for the security of Europe. Here is a full list of all of the prime ministers and presidents who attended. You can see right there a list of these leaders. You saw the photograph there as well. Here is, again, an incredible video that Prime Minister Keir Starmer put out talking about how we are at a crossroads in history. It is time to act. I mean, his speech was incredible. This video was incredible. Keir Starmer is stepping up right now. This is statesmanship at the highest level. Let's play it.
The first priority of this government, of any government, is the security and safety of the British people, to defend the national interest, particularly in these volatile times. That's why last week I announced the biggest sustained increase in defence spending since the Cold War. That's also why I met President Trump last week, to strengthen our relationship with America, an indispensable partners in defence and security. And it's why this weekend I've been hosting European leaders here in London to work together for the security of the United Kingdom, Ukraine, and Europe as a whole. We are at a crossroads in history today. This is not a moment for more talk. It's time to act, time to step up and lead, and to unite around a new plan for a just and enduring peace.
Here's a video as well that Keir Starmer posted. He wrote, "We must meet this moment together to guarantee the best outcome for Ukraine, to protect European security, and to secure our collective future." It's a video of all of the world leaders who Prime Minister Keir Starmer has now been referring to as the new coalition of the willing. Also implying that not only is the United States unwilling, but at this point, Putin's puppet, part of the axis of evil, essentially, what Donald Trump's doing by voting with Putin and North Korea to oppose something as simple as a United Nations resolution condemning Russia's unlawful invasion of Ukraine. Let's play this video right here. Now, let me share with you this powerful speech that United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer gave, and he said, look, as part of any deal with Ukraine, he says that the United Kingdom would be willing to put boots on the ground to serve as peacekeepers to secure a lasting peace, to give these security guarantees. And that was an important term that was used over and over again at this emergency meeting. Real security guarantees, because they know what's Donald Trump trying to do. Trump is trying to carve it up and give it to Putin. Watch this incredible speech by Keir Starmer. Let's play it.
First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security, and Ukraine must be at the table. Third, in the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defensive capabilities to deter any future invasion. Fourth, we will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace. Not every nation will feel able to contribute, but that can't mean that we sit back. Instead, those willing will intensify planning now with real urgency. The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air. Together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing. We're working with the US on this point after my meeting with President Trump last week. And let me be clear, we agree with the President on the urgent need for a durable peace. Now we need to deliver together. Finally, we agreed that leaders will meet again very soon to keep the pace behind these actions and to keep working towards this shared plan. We are at a crossroads in history today. This is not a moment for more talk. It's time to act, time to step up and lead, and to unite around a new plan for a just and enduring peace. Thank you.
Also, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau gave a powerful speech. And in answering questions from the press, Prime Minister Trudeau talked about how I stand with Zelenskyy. I stand with the people of Ukraine. Watch this.
You clearly admire President Zelenskyy, so I'm wondering what you thought when you saw the treatment that he received in the Oval Office on Friday.
I think, first of all, it's important every chance we get to lay out the facts as clearly as possible. In 2014, Russia chose to invade Ukraine, to occupy Crimea and parts of eastern Ukraine. For that, they were kicked out of the G7. And in 2022, they chose to violate the existing ceasefire and invaded Ukraine with the intention of taking Kyiv in 3 days and the entire country in 3 weeks. That has failed. Russia continues to try to fight to claim more land in Ukraine, and we could see an end to this war tomorrow if Russia decided to stop its illegal invasion of Ukraine. On Friday in the Oval Office, President Zelenskyy pointed out, in so many words, that Vladimir Putin is a liar and a criminal and cannot be trusted to keep his word in any way, shape, or form, because he has demonstrated time and time again that he will break any agreements. I stand with Vladimir Zelenskyy, and I stand with the people of Ukraine.
My cat is part of the family, plain and simple, so I want them to have the best food that money can buy. And I didn't realize that for years, the cat food that I was buying had questionable ingredients. This podcast is sponsored by Smalls. Now, if you're a listener of the show, you know that my cat cannot live without Smalls. To get 50% off your first order plus free shipping, head to smalls.com and use promo code MIDAS. Smalls cat food is protein-packed recipes made with preservative-free ingredients that you'd find in your fridge, and it's delivered right to your door. That's why Cats.com named Smalls their best overall cat food. My cat's favorite flavor is smooth fish, and my cats prefer Smalls way more than their previous cat food. I legitimately did a taste test, put two bowls side by side, and they immediately went to Smalls. Since making the switch to Smalls, my cat has had fewer hairballs, more balanced energy, a healthier weight, a softer and shinier fur coat, and a less stinky litter box that's big. Still not a believer in Smalls? Well, New York Magazine called Smalls the best cat food, according to veterinarians, while BuzzFeed said, my cats went completely ballistic for this stuff. My cat's breath is much better, and their fur is much softer ever since I switched to Smalls. Smalls also has a bunch of amazing treats and snacks that you can add to your order. And after switching to Smalls, 88% of cat owners reported overall health improvements. That's a big deal. Do you have a picky cat? Well, Smalls has a sampler so that your cat can try everything Smalls has to offer. And the team at Smalls is so confident that your cat will love their product that you can try it risk-free. That means they will refund you if your cat won't eat their food. What are you waiting for? Give your cat the food they deserve. Head to smalls.com and use promo code MIDAS, M-E-I-D-A-S, at checkout for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's the best offer that you'll find, but you have to use my code MIDAS for 50% off your first order. One last time, that's promo code MIDAS for 50% off your first order plus free shipping.
More from Prime Minister Trudeau right here. Let's play it.
Prime Minister Starmer mentioned a coalition of the willing. What role will Canada play in that coalition?
Canada has been one of the strongest countries in support of Ukraine from the very beginning. For over 10 years now, we've been training Ukrainian defense forces. We're up to close to 40,000 Ukrainian troops that we have trained over the years. We're continuing to play a significant role in training, as is the UK, who is our primary partner in that. We've also invested close to $20 billion in supports for Ukraine, military, economic, and other. And we're going to continue to be there to support Ukraine as necessary with whatever it takes for as long as it takes, because Ukraine is not just defending its own territory, it's defending the very principles and values that underpin all of our democracies. So as we look at what's going to be necessary in the coming years, I can assure you that Canada and Canadians will be there.
From the European Union, here's Ursula von der Leyen. Play this clip.
We had a very good and frank discussion. We've discussed everything that is around peace and strength. And of course, security guarantees are of utmost importance for Ukraine, but we need comprehensive security guarantees. This includes that we have to put Ukraine in a position of strength, that it has the means to fortify and protect itself from the economic survival to the military resilience. It's basically turning Ukraine into a steel porcupine that is indigestible for potential invaders. And therefore the focus is not only on the military supply, but also, for example, securing the energy system and making sure that over time this is a strong and resilient country. The second element I brought to the table is that we urgently have to rearm Europe. And for that I will present a comprehensive plan how to rearm Europe on the 6th of March when we have our European Council to the leaders.
And President Zelenskyy posted the following as well. He said, as a result of these days, we see clear support from Europe. Even more unity, even more willingness to cooperate. Everyone is united on the main issue. For peace to be real, we need security guarantees, real security guarantees. And this is the position of all of Europe, the entire continent, the United Kingdom, the European Union, and Turkey. Of course, we understand the importance of America. We're grateful for all the support we receive from the United States. There hasn't been a day when we haven't felt gratitude. It's gratitude for the preservation of our independence. Our resilience in Ukraine is based on what our partners are doing for us and for their own security. What we need is peace, not endless war. And that's why we say security guarantees are the key to this. Security guarantees. And then President Zelenskyy posted these photos of the summit in London that was very successful. And here's how Zelenskyy says it. The summit in London was dedicated to Ukraine and our shared European future. We feel strong support for Ukraine, for our people, both soldiers and civilians, and our independence. Together, we are working in Europe to establish a solid foundation for cooperation with the United States in pursuit of true peace and guaranteed security. Europe's unity is at an exceptionally high level, one that has not been seen in a long time. We are discussing with our partners security guarantees and the conditions for a just peace for Ukraine. A series of important meetings and decisions are being prepared for the near future. I am grateful to all of our friends and partners for their efforts in bringing about a stable and guaranteed peace in Ukraine. Joint strength can protect our future. And I think that's kind of the key message over here. Security guarantees and joint strength and negotiating from a power of strength where Donald Trump just wants to wag his finger and bully. Here's a video of Zelenskyy as well, just so you can see it. Let's play it.
Dear Ukrainians, we are returning home. As a summary of these days and clear support from Europe, more unity, even more readiness to cooperate. Everyone is united in the main thing. For peace to be real, real security guarantees are needed. And this is the position of all our Europe, the whole continent. The United Kingdom, European Union, Norway, Turkey. Today we coordinated our positions. There will be many meetings, much joint work in the coming days, in the coming weeks. There will be diplomacy for the sake of peace and for all of us to be together. Ukraine, all of Europe, and certainly America. Of course, we realize the importance of America. And we are grateful for all the support we have received from the United States of America. There hasn't been a day when we haven't felt this gratitude, for it is gratitude for preserving our independence. So our resilience in Ukraine is based on what our partners do for us and for their own security. We need peace, not eternal war. And that is why we say that security guarantees are key. Up to this, in the near future, all of us in Europe will form our positions, our common positions, the lines we need to reach, and the lines, Chairman of the Verkhovna Rada, which we cannot retreat from. Such positions will be presented to our partner in the United States of America. Reliability, the duration of peace, a proper agreement on ending the war. This is truly our common priority. And of course, I want to thank now Voice of Screen TV, to you, to all of you, to everyone in our native Ukraine who feels how much unity matters, how history is changing, and when millions defend the dignity of their country. Our warriors on the front, all our people, I am proud of you. And I want to thank all of you. Thank you very much. Glory to Ukraine.
Also, President Zelenskyy met with King Charles III. King Charles didn't have any issues with the way Zelenskyy was dressed as a wartime president. Of course, we know that Winston Churchill, when he visited the White House, was dressed in the war attire during war. I'm reminded of this video right here of Marco Rubio, or this photo of Marco Rubio from the meeting, the horrific meeting that will go down in infamy between Trump when Trump was attacking Zelenskyy from the Oval Office. And then finally, after showing you that incredible statesmanship or statespersonship from these incredible world leaders that I was just sharing with you, I want you to contrast it with how petty and weird American United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio is, who here says, this was on This Week, ABC's This Week on Sunday, where Rubio's like, look, the issue is that Zelensky's too busy Ukraine-splaining to Trump. Why is he Ukraine-splaining? I don't know, maybe because he's the leader of Ukraine, you idiot. Maybe that's why he's Ukraine-splaining that Russia is bad. Russia is bad, okay? Here, play this clip.
Can we get them to a table to negotiate? That's our goal. Don't do anything to disrupt that. And that's what Zelenskyy did, unfortunately, is he found every opportunity to try to Ukraine-splain on every issue. Then he confronts the vice president. When the vice president says, the goal here is diplomacy, he immediately jumps in and challenges the vice president. Well, what kind of diplomacy? Well, so we all understand, okay, that Putin is not going to be an easy negotiator.
Well, folks, there you have it. Let me know what you think. Powerful world leaders stepping up. Would love to get your take. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers and have a wonderful day.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.